Salute to the thinking class. Lawrence D. Adams, I am here, fresh and so clean. What's going on to the thinking class? Oh. Caught that, teach. Caught that one, huh? Salute to the thinking class. If you are ready, what time is it? We got a couple more minutes. Yeah, respect to what's good, my good people. Lawrence D. Adams, I'm here, fresh from off the trails on Alfie Kingdom's podcast. You know how we do it. Let me get these lights right. I'm a stickler on lights being right. See if I can bring this up. Yeah. Salute to the thinking class. Woo! Y'all already know what I had to do to get here. Let me drop the beat 1 second. 1 second. Let me get the beat right. We'll come back. Yo, this is Lawrence D. Adams. This is the thinking class, man. I know that beat was like something nice to ride to. Let me get my lights in the background. If you knew what I had to do to get here on time, baby, had to get in the car, get going so that I can get the game, get fresh. And okay, this light ain't right. And this light ain't right. We got to turn it up here. There we go. Let's turn the lights on in the back. So let's get the beat back because I know y'all like that beat. Waiting for Jado to come on through. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. And let's get back to that beat. Y'all like that beat, huh? Let's get that beat back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 8, 1. Here we go. Salute to the thinking class. Let's get it rolling. Today we're talking about what? The game is to be sold, not told. And froze up. You like that beat? You like that beat, huh? Let's get it started. I see I done froze up. This is Lawrence D. Adams, and I'm back. I don't know what's up, I'm pixelating, but we back again. The game is to be told and not sold. Peace. So let's get started in a few minutes. Let me get some water and we'll be ready to go. Get that beat, just a tish beat. Oh, 1, 2, ow, 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 ow. Get it going. All right. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat room. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat room. I might have froze up. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat room. Hear me in the chat room, let me know. So like I froze up. Let me do this. Hear me good. Check it in. Check in's a bit choppy. I don't know what's up. You should be able to hear me loud and clear. That's better. All right. Let's get into this game. We got 1 minute. Man, what an awesome panel. If you didn't listen to the panel from Alpha Kingdom today, it was actually really good. Not that the other ones are, but this was really good. Our women for the street. Woo, what a good chop up. Good chop up. Our women. The video is choppy. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I tell you. All my internet stuff is off. Lagging in the video. Gotta get that computer. So let's get started. Yesterday we talked about, let me try this one more time. Everything closed. One second, let's see where we going here. One more time. It should catch up now. Let's talk about it. Wow, I am like lagging really bad. Let's talk about it. You should be able to hear me. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat room. We can get going with this. I'm not understanding why it's lagging, but it is. We're talking about loud and clear. Good. Okay, let's do this. Let's get going with the teaching. Man, if you only understood what I did to get here. Yeah, it might be. It's the computer, definitely. The processor is not strong enough, whatever we're doing, and the internet service. So let's go. Audio is good. Good. All right. Cool. Let's get going. Let's go on with the teaching today. Peace, Joe Blast. Let me say this. Thank you, Joe Blast. I'm glad you showed up. Well, TLDL, salute. See, thank you, True Savage. Salute. You guys can hear me. Respect. Let me say something. Let me clear something up right quick. Let me drop the music because I gotta say this. Let me cut the music off. Listen, over here at the thinking class, what we don't do is we do not talk about other content creators. What I mean by that is by putting them down. I don't condone that. I don't push that over here. If anything that you see me do, I lift up other content creators, whether I agree with their ideology or not. Why do I do that? Because what I teach and what I live over here is completely different. I can't speak for everyone else, but I'm telling you one thing I do. We do not do that in the thinking class. In the thinking class, we are about class. If not, you got to move your. So I want to make sure everybody understands that. I knew a lot of the content creators for years, either been on their channel, listen to their content, but I do not underwrite or even condone talking about another content creators and their beefs and what they did and what this one did and what that one did. That's not my spirit. That's not how I do things. And you don't know if I'm friends with them. So you got to think about that before you see someone do that in the comments. I'm thank you for Joe Blaz and the other guys who stepped and say, this is not what we do here in the thinking class. We do not, what's going on, William? We do not do that at all. We don't do that. I'm just saying, because I have to say something as the person who's doing this. We don't do that. What we do not do is talk about other content creators, likes or dislikes, what they did and what they did not do, because you don't know if they're watching or not. We're the thinking class, and we come on, Joe Blast. What we're about thinking. Accept that or move your ASS. And I have to say that because sometimes guys come from other sectors of the YouTube, which is this is just a small sector, and they bring in stuff that happened years ago, or maybe this happened yesterday, but not in this place. We don't do that because we're on another level. If anything, I'm trying to show you, the men and the women, you see, I didn't change my whole picture. I didn't change how I present myself. I didn't change the dialogue even on the with this recharging manhood with a thinking class. I'm trying to show you another way how men are to operate. You will not hear me talk down to women. I will correct them. You would not hear me talk down to men, but I will correct them. You know why? Because that needs to be done, but that needs to be done. Let me say that again. We're here to sharpen and refine. We don't deal with scraps. Correct. Thank you so much. So I want to make sure make sure we clear on that. I have to say something, because if you do not say something, guess what's going to happen? It'll happen again, and you think it's okay. It's not okay. So even to the individual who did it yesterday, you didn't know. We don't do that over here. Let me say what our greatest enemy is over here. It's not another content creator. It is not another ideology. That's not our greatest enemy. I'm gonna get into what we're talking about today. Our greatest enemy in here, just right, respect. Discord is our standard, no gospel. Respectfully, discord is our, yeah, right. We can disagree to agree. Let me get it. We don't tolerate negativity energy here. We're all here to uplift people, correct. Let me tell you what the greatest enemy is, so you guys know what our enemy is. There's no need to be here if you don't know who your enemy is. Let me tell you who the enemy is. If you want to know in the chat room, let me know in the chat room. You know what you want to know, what the thinking class greatest enemy is. Put it in the chat room. You're almost there. You're almost there, Joe Blast. It's almost there, right? Yes, that's part of it. But I need to say this in order for everybody to get this. Let me tell you what the greatest enemy. You're close there, Fear Soul. Let me get that. You're almost close there, Joe Blaz. You're almost there. What is our greatest enemy here in the thinking class? Yes, ignorance. Yes, that's one. That's right. Divisiveness. That's part of it. Let me tell you what it is. And I'm gonna tell you what the greatest enemy here in the thinking class is, so that we're all on the same page. So we're shooting at the same enemy. If you have no enemy to fight, guess what? You would not fight. You would sit back and you would eat donuts and just live. Y'all guys are so close, man. That's it. Y'all really hitting right on the head. The greatest enemy here in the thinking class is your old self. The old you. The greatest enemy is the old version of you. Your greatest enemy is the old version of you. Let me say that again. So you understand here, it's the old version of you. I know I'm piscolating. I'm gonna drop my camera off because I don't know why it's happening like that. The old version of you. That is the greatest enemy. The old version of you. You should be a new person from yesterday to today. So the greatest enemy that you have is the old version of you. The old what? The old version of you. And if you don't understand that here in the thinking class, it is not about it's about getting game and understanding women and understanding life and all like that. But you got to understand what the enemy is. Who is the enemy? It is the old version of you. Until you realize that the old version of you is your greatest enemy, you will not fight. You would not strive for something better. The old version of you, the old version of you, because you have the biases that aren't useful and new interactions. Come on, you guys are getting it. Thank you. The old version of you. This is facts, Lawrence. The old us keeps us trying to trip us up. Correct. The old version of you, right? Falling into your old habits. The old version is the greatest enemy that you have. I didn't say ideology. That entails ideology. That's your theology, your perceptions. It's the old version of you that is stopping you. It's the old version of you that is stopping you. Now I need to get back to the game, but I had to say, what is our greatest enemy here in the thinking class? It is not women. It is not men. It is not another content creator. It is not another ideology. It is the old version of you that is your greatest enemy. Let me galvanize that inside of you right now. Let me get that deep inside of you that you understand that the old version of you is your greatest enemy. And until you understand that, you realize that the fight that we fight here in the thinking class is for you to be the best version of you. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. Let me get that again. Powerful statement. If you don't know your enemy, you will not fight. I have my scripts written down, and shout out to Steve the Dean. Come on. If you don't know your enemy, you will not fight. So the old version of you is your greatest enemy. So and I don't care. Anybody come on here talking anything different. You know the thinking class stands on this premise that the old version of you is your greatest enemy. Another phone would be ringing. The old version. You are demanded to constantly evolve. It is the old version of you that is your greatest enemy. And until you understand that, you're here, you will not fight. What all I'm here to do, Jono and I, and anyone who comes here, is to change your perception of the old version of you and see you for who you really are. That's why we offer the game like here. Let me say that again. That is the reason why I, Jono, anyone else who comes on here, is to present to you what the right version of who you are, the possibilities of who you are. But the greatest enemy is you. It's the old version of you. And if you don't know your enemy, this will preach. If you don't know your enemy, guess what? You will not fight. Now, we haven't even gotten to the subject matter that I want to get in, but I had to do some house cleaning again. So anybody who talks contrary, you realize that they're fighting their old self, because we know over here we're dealing with our old self. We're fighting the old man to bring forth the new man. And we know that you cannot put new wine in old wineskin. That means if you put new wine in old wineskin, the wineskin will burst open. Y'all better get what I'm saying today. And y'all better get what I'm saying today. All we're doing here is pouring new wine. We're pouring a new perspective, a new way of seeing yourself, so that you realize that the real enemy is your old self. Having a problem with women? Let me get this. You having a problem with women? It's the old self, because we're given a new perspective. Have a problem in your money? It's the old perspective. It's the new old you. Job, entrepreneur, we're trying to get the old you to crucify so that a new version of you can rise in this new matrix. Back to the game. The game is not sold. The game is to be sold and not told. You can't subject your old self. You would never be open to receive. Come on, your guys are teaching now. Let me get back to the game is to be sold and not told. The game is to be sold and not told. The game is to be sold and not told. What I just shared in just few minutes, it's a price that you have to pay. And as I was doing my studies about what we're talking about today, about the game is to be sold and not told, many times the older guys would not share with the younger guys because they had this philosophy. Pay attention to what I'm saying. They had this philosophy, and the philosophy was this: you have to be careful awakening someone who is not ready to how reality really is. You have to be careful awakening someone to the reality, to how things really is. So what are you saying, LDA? What am I saying is this: they knew that many times if they gave you the game and if you did not pay the price, you will not be ready. You will not be ready to digest what was being said. Why would I give at that time, my 5-year-old son the keys to the car and tell him to go pick his mother up from the job? His perception and his reality were not able to comprehend how to even get in the car, close the door, put the keys in the ignition, turn it. He's not even able to see over the steering wheel because he's not ready. So many times the game is to be sold and not told. That means there is a price tag, as we said yesterday, with the game. Come on, now y'all guys are getting it. So everyone is not ready to digest all of this. One of the funny things I read yesterday was he said even a doctor walks by the medicine cabinet tiptoeing because he don't want to wake up the sleeping pills. He said even a doctor tiptoes past the medicine cabinet because he doesn't want to wake up the sleeping pills. You got to understand, everyone is not ready to pay the price to get the information. How do you pay the price? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. How do you pay the price? I have an old video I did about 2 years ago. Use the game that you have. It's an old video I did. I think I still have it available. Use the old game that you have. Why am I saying that? Use the old game that you have. Sometimes the reason why the game is to be sold and not told, because some people want on the information, but they don't want to pay the price. So they go scavenger hunting on the internet for game and realize that even if they get the solution, are they willing to pay the price to actually execute the solution? It comes with a price. It is of value. There is so much to this. If you realize the price I paid to be here just today, not alone that you paid to be and listen to what I'm saying. That's why the game is to be sold and not told. You wasn't there when I had a couple dollars in my pocket to eat that day. You were not there when I was doing this on MySpace and reaching people around the world. So I laugh at people who say anything about what I'm doing. Because you wasn't there. You probably were just in high school or junior high school when I was doing this. You were not there when I was on Black Planet promoting the Lawrence. It wasn't the Lawrence. It wasn't Lawrence the Admiral. It was Mr. L radio show. You were not there. There was a price I paid to even talk today. You were not there when I failed at relationships. See, that's the real game. That's the price that nobody wants to pay. You were not there when the relationship went left. You were not there when I watched other people's relationships fall apart. You got to understand that there is an intrinsic price for anything that you do. Some of you guys are selling yourself short because you're telling everything, but you're not putting a price on it. Anything that's free, gets trampled on. Anything that's free gets trampled on. Let me say that again. Anything that is free gets trampled on. No one value it. Yeah, Black Planet is years ago. I was doing it back then. Anything that is free, you do not value it. It is when you have an intrinsic price, when you value it, is when you realize that what's being said or what's being offered means something to you. That's why I didn't get to do, let me get this going. Hit that Cash App or hit that PayPal. Hit that super chat right now, because there's a price tag for what we are doing today. You're paying with your attention, yes, but you need to also pay with other ways. The game is not to be sold. I don't care what nobody says, how much game they give it away. I'm giving all the game away. I don't care. Someone has to pay a price, or they're only teaching you theory. And you should be able to tell from being on this place if I'm teaching from theory or I'm teaching from experience. Let me say that again. You should be able to tell from what I'm saying right now if I'm teaching from theory or if I'm teaching from experience. If I'm teaching from a place where I'm disappointments, if I'm teaching from a place of failure, if I'm teaching from a place of tears, if I'm teaching from the place where she walked out and teaching from a place where I walked out, when you teach in the place that she cheated or when he cheated or when they cheated or whatever the case may be, you understand that this man talking to you right now is speaking from a place that is authentic. That is the price that I had to pay. That's why this game is not to be sold. Is to be sold and not told. How does this apply to you in your everyday life? I'm glad you asked. Until you realize that your experience in your life, brother, in your life, sister, is of value, you will be very careful on how you share all the things that you know, because you realize that you paid a price for it. If this is resonating with you, let me know in the chat room. Camera's not working, so I have to improvise. Price I have to pay. But you can hear me. That's all that matters. If this is resonating, if this makes sense to you, if you're understanding what I'm saying to you, if this is like, I get it. And I said I was going to talk about the relationship piece. Let me get down to the relationship piece. I want you to understand, even in the relationship side, or dealing with a woman dealing with a man. I want you to get this. Some of you guys are not seeing the value of who you are. So you have not put a price on you. So you telling everything and not putting a price when you interact with the other individual. You're not putting a price on the interaction with the other individual. This might be too much for you guys. I might need to slow down. I may need to slow down. I need to go back to the kiddie pool. I might have to go back to the kiddie pool. See, when you understand the game is to be sold and not told, that means the interaction that you have with an individual, male with a woman and a woman with a man, you understand that if you're the man, she has to pay a price for the interaction that she has with you. You got to understand there's a price for it. But we're so happy-go-lucky, we don't see the intrinsic value first. Let me say what the intrinsic value that we don't see first. And I'm saying this is why this is why we have it backwards. I'm going to tell everything. The game is not to be told, it's to be sold. Okay, let me tell you why you get it all wrong. At the end of the day, you, my brother, you, my sister, you don't see the value that you have in yourself. You do not see the intrinsic value that you have in who you are. Let me say that again. You do not see the intrinsic value that you have in yourself. You don't see the intrinsic value that you have in yourself. That's why you keep giving the game away for free and just doing whatever when it comes to interaction with a male and a female in a relationship in that part of it, because you don't see the value of who you are. And I'm talking to the men right now. You do not see the value of who you are as a man. Let me speak to you, brothers. Let me speak to you, brothers. You got to understand that you are valuable. Your experience that you went through makes you valuable. The things that you went through and came out on the other side makes you valuable. The lessons that you learn makes you valuable. I'm talking to you, brothers. It's time for you to rise up, stand on your 2 feet and let your balls drop and say, I am valuable. Stop bowing down and kowtowing and whatever they say do, I'm going to do. No, stand up and be a man. Realize that you have value. Your value is not just in your phallus. Your value is not just in your phallus. Do I need to say it another way? Do I need to say it another way? Do I need to say it another way? Your value is not in how many women you stick and move. Your value is your experience and knowing who you are. I know it's a whole thing on YouTube and on everywhere about high value man. I'm not going down that street. The thing I want you to realize is that you got to realize the intrinsic value that you bring to this earth. You got to understand the intrinsic value that you bring to this earth. Well, I'm an ant farmer. You bring a value to people who need ants to be farmed. Well, I'm just a coal miner. You bring value to people who are cold. I didn't go to school. You bring, okay, but you know something. You know how to use a pipe wrench and you know how to use a hammer. You bring a value that others do not bring. You need to capitalize on your value. That's why the game is to be sold and not told. Stop minimizing yourself because of what you see society say you should be. Stop minimizing who you are because you think society says you need to be this, you need to be that. The hell with society. Let me say that again. The hell with society. You have to value what you intrinsically bring to the table as a man. You must be so convinced that you're almost drunken by it of the value of who you are. Let me say that again. You must be so intoxicated by the value that you bring to the table as a man. I'm speaking to somebody right now. I'm speaking to some men right now. I'm speaking directly to you. I'm speaking directly to you. You need to hear this. This is why the game is to be sold and not told. This is why we have the thinking class, because the greatest enemy is the old version of you. And some people will not get the thinking class. Some people will never get the game because they rather fall asleep and go with society's narrative of who they are. They rather go with the what? The narrative of how society said they should be, how they can be, and what they should do. I'm talking to you, brothers. I know the sisters are watching in the wings, but I have to talk to the men today because the game is to be sold and not told. There's a price for it. And the price is your failures. Then you realize after you done bumped your head 5 or 6 times in this particular direction, does the game wake up to you? Does the game wake up to you? The problem is people want the game on the internet for free without taking any risk or without failing. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. Many men come on YouTube and want all the game in the world because they do not want to fail at anything. You stupid. Why would you think that? You do not want to fail at anything. So you trying to safeguard your little self with a little binky and Pampers on because you do not want to fail at life. So you come scavenging the internet with this content creator, that content creator. Listen to me. I don't want to fail. Baby boy, you will fail in life. Embrace it. Embrace it. Embrace it. You don't want to fail. Any man who's been sharp at the game, who's been effective in the game, has failed multiple times, and he's willing to listen and learn. He must be able to listen and he must be able to learn. That's why the game is not to be sold, it's to be sold and not told. Let me say that again. The game is to be what? Sold and not told. You got to value yourself as a man. Stop selling yourself short because society sees you and says you should be this way or that way. I'm talking to you, brothers. You're listening, sisters. I want you to succeed. Let me reiterate, unless you know your enemy, you will not fight. Unless you know your enemy, you will not fight. And here at the thinking class, our greatest enemy is the old version of you. Let me say that again. Unless you know your enemy, you will not fight. And the greatest enemy that you have is the old version of you. It's the old, what version of who you are. That's why some would rather keep you in the dark, saying that the old version of you is okay. And that is fine because they don't want you to awaken to who you really are. This is Lawrence D. Adams. Let me go back over these comments. I know some fire comments came through, so I want to acknowledge these guys. I want to know. I think I know, but not yet. Okay. This is from earlier. Old version of you because you have biases that aren't useful for new interactions. That's it right there. This is fact, Lawrence. The old us keeps trying to trip us up. Come on. Failing in your old habits. That's it. Powerful statement, LDA. If you don't know your enemy, you will not fight. I have my script written down. Shout out to Steve the Dean. Have to keep evolving. Enough respect. This will preach. Already open to receive. Your new version of us should be getting the likes up. Come on. If you can't subject your old self, you will never be open to receive. The statement about the enemy is a whole show. Come on. Right, Lawrence. Right again, Lawrence. Some people aren't ready to have their beliefs shattered. Come on. Fear Soul says, I realize it doesn't matter how much my mind, money, or muscles and hands, if I keep putting old things in my body to withstand the longevity. I decided to stop the toxic today. I want to be powerful. Come on. If you are not ready for the game, you can't give it. Could cost you more than it's worth. Come on. There's a sacrifice in everything in life. As much as I like to win, I like to put others in the same position. Everybody is not ready to win. Even a loss can be considered a win, a W. Some people only teaching you. Someone's only teaching you price if they are teaching you the theory. Right. Facts. There's a cost for your value. Fire game. Got you. Don't stifle yourself. It shows how you value yourself by how you value the game. It feels like a Millie right now. I'm valuable, so are my brothers. Come on. It's kind of, are you like you're watching me on Facebook? Okay, good job. Check it in, Viking. What's going on? Self-value, whether there's 100 women around or zero. Come on. I am the table. Come on. That's a powerful statement, LJ. I'm getting down to the comments. They prioritize society over themselves. Got you. LDH channel the divine energy into the thinking class today. LDH channeling the divine energy into the thinking class today. Trying to catch up 1 second. Fail forward. OU is the shadow. Let me say something. Always try to be better today than you were yesterday. Come on. There is your most informative stream yet. This is your most informative stream yet, LDA. Thank you. I appreciate that. Get it. Great message today, LDA. This is what I call recharging manhood. I'm taking this forward into perpetual. I can't get the word. I didn't, you saying it right. What's up, LDA? What's going on, Renaissance? Perpetuitude. Got it. So I want you guys to understand, we're going to end in a few minutes. I hate that Jono didn't come up today, but I want you guys to understand something. The greatest enemy, if you don't know who your enemy is, you will not fight. And the greatest enemy you can have is the old version of yourself. It's the old what version of yourself? When you take the L, you don't take it as a loss or a lesson. That's how you win. Lessons over loss. Come on. I want you guys to understand in closing, because we're going to go a little deeper tomorrow. The game is to be sold and not told. And I want you to get deep down and understand the feeling that you have inside. That you are valuable, brothers. You are valuable. And until you embrace that you are valuable, that you are valuable as a man, that you bring something to the table besides your phallus, besides your money, besides your looks, you bring you, the totality of who you are. You realize that everyone can't pay the price to be in your life. Everyone can't pay the price to be in your life. Let me say that again. Everyone cannot pay the price to be in your life. That's, if you please understand what I'm saying to you. Someone, when you hit the Cash App or the PayPal, hit the super chat. There is a price to be in your life. There is a price to be in your life. Let me say that again. Until you realize that someone has to pay a price to be in your life, you are of no value. Let me say that again. Until you realize that someone has to pay a price to be in your life and you realize your intrinsic value, you're just like everyone else. Common. Boring. Can't do nothing. This is Lawrence D. Adams. If you got something from this broadcast today, hit the like button, share, subscribe, share it with 10 other men. Let's get the word out about the thinking class. This shouldn't be a secret. If this has resonated with you, let me know in the chat room if this has resonated with you. If this has resonated with you, if this has touched you on a deeper level, let me know in the chat room. I think John will be back tomorrow. We're about to get out of here. Share, like. This is not this. Whoa. This message was not for the weak men. This is not message for the weak women. This is for those who realize who their real enemy is. The old version of them. Lawrence D. Adams. Let's get it. Thank you for the super chat right there. Tuition being played. This was valuable game. Resonated. Appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Let's get one more in. Resonate. Get one more super chat in. One more cash app in before we leave. We have value ourselves as men. We have to value ourselves as men. Let's get one more super chat in before we leave. One more cash app. Get your tuition in for what we said today. This was raw and uncut, unscripted almost.
Tracks today.
Camera wasn't acting right. Get one more super chat, one cash app. I didn't say what amount. To advance what we're doing here. Let's get it. This is Lawrence D. Adams. I'm gonna let the music ride on out. We out of here. There you go. Salute to John W. for the. Thank you for the tuition towards the thinking class. See you tomorrow as we go deeper. Why the game is to be sold and not told. And not told. Salute to the brothers giving the cash app. Appreciate it. Much love to you. And we out of here. You know how we do it. Salute to the cash app that just came through. Much love to you. Appreciate it. Much love to you. This is Lawrence D. Adams. Go back and listen to what was shared today. All proceeds still going to the MacBook. We out of here. Salute, brothers, sisters. This is Lawrence D. Adams, and I'm out.